Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a global health alert triggered by a virus with a fatality rate that can hit a terrifying 75%. We're going to use the source material to break down exactly what the Nipah virus is and, why health officials are on such high alert right now.
Okay, so our story, as our sources lay it out, kicks off in a hypothetical January of 2026. A virus that's known for being incredibly lethal makes a comeback, and you can bet that public health officials are immediately on edge.
And just look at how fast this all happens. It starts with just 2 confirmed cases, and they're in a group that's always at high risk, healthcare workers. Now, Indian authorities, they move fast, tracing almost 200 contacts, and thankfully, every single one tests negative. But with a virus this deadly, the alarm's already been sounded. You can see the ripple effect immediately as nearby countries start screening travelers, trying to stay one step ahead. So what exactly is this virus that can set off such a massive international response from just a couple of cases? Let's get a clear profile on the Nipah virus itself.
Okay, the most important thing to understand here is where it comes from. Nipah is a zoonotic infection. All that means is that it jumps the species barrier, from animals to people. And this is just fundamental to understanding these outbreaks, especially as human and animal worlds collide more and more.
So this slide lays out the pathway perfectly. The virus just kind of hangs out in fruit bats, totally harmless to them. That's its natural home. The danger really starts with what's called a spillover event. That's when it jumps to an animal like a pig, or even directly to us, maybe through something as simple as eating a piece of fruit that a bat has contaminated. And once it's in a human, well, then it can spread from person to person, putting family members and healthcare workers right in the line of fire.
The scary thing is how it starts. It can look like a lot of other things at first: fever, headache, muscle pain. But the progression, that's what's so terrifying. In the worst cases, it launches a two-front attack on the body. It can cause encephalitis, which is a really dangerous swelling of the brain, and severe respiratory problems, which can ultimately lead to a coma. And this is why everyone drops everything when Nipah shows up. A mortality rate between 40 and 75% is just staggering. To put that into perspective, the World Health Organization includes Nipah on its list of priority diseases. These are the pathogens they see as having major epidemic potential. It's one of the deadliest viruses they keep an eye on.
So this 2026 alert, while it is definitely alarming, it's not coming out of nowhere. To really get why the response is what it is, we have to look back. The world has been dealing with Nipah for over 2 decades now, in these sporadic, incredibly high-stakes outbreaks.
The virus first popped up on our radar back in 1998 in Malaysia, and since then, as you can see from this timeline, it's just flared up again and again, especially in Bangladesh and India. Just look at that 2018 outbreak in Kerala. 17 deaths from only 19 confirmed cases. The pattern is pretty clear. These outbreaks might be small and localized, but boy, are they deadly.
And the impact of that very first outbreak, it was just devastating. It goes beyond the tragic loss of over 100 lives. The economic hit was massive. To stop the virus, authorities had to cull over 1 million pigs. That move just crippled the agricultural industry and so many people's livelihoods. So, with that dangerous history in mind, how are health authorities handling this current alert? Well, the response is happening on multiple layers, starting at the epicenter and working its way out. Right at the heart of the outbreak, India's health ministry is sending a clear message of calm and control. And, these kinds of official statements are really crucial for reassuring not just their own people, but the entire international community that, hey, we've got this, containment measures are working. But neighboring countries, they are not just sitting around and waiting. They're jumping into immediate preventative action. You've got Thailand and Nepal screening travelers at airports and border crossings. And then there's Taiwan, which is even thinking about bumping Nipah up to its highest alert category. That would put it on the same level as the most serious public health threats they track. And this response cascades right down to the city level. This directive from the CDC in Hanoi, Vietnam, is a perfect example. They're telling local health centers to get ready now, monitor for any symptoms, stock up on protective gear. This is what proactive prevention looks like in real time. This strong preventative response is so important because when an infection actually happens, our options become dangerously limited. Medically speaking, the world is playing defense against Nipah. This right here, this is the stark, crucial reality of the situation. There is no cure for Nipah. We have no licensed vaccines, and we don't have any specific drugs that can fight it. All doctors can really do is provide what's called supportive care, basically managing the awful symptoms and just desperately trying to keep the body's systems from completely shutting down.
This slide really captures the three fronts in the battle against Nipah. So, on a global level, the WHO has flagged it for urgent research. In the hospitals, doctors are fighting this desperate battle with only supportive care in their toolbox. And on the front lines, you have healthcare workers who are facing enormous personal risk, relying completely on strict infection control to keep themselves safe.
And this all leads to the one question that just hangs over every single outbreak. With a virus this deadly, why on earth don't we have a vaccine to protect people? And the answer, well, it's a difficult ethical paradox. To speed up vaccine development, scientists sometimes use what are called human challenge trials. That's where vaccinated volunteers are intentionally exposed to a disease. But with Nipah, that's just impossible. Since there's no cure, it would be completely unethical to deliberately infect someone, even in a controlled setting. So, in a really cruel twist, the virus's own deadliness is the biggest thing stopping us from creating a defense against it. And so we're left with this critical question. Given its unpredictable nature, its horrifying fatality rate, and the scientific paradox that's blocking a vaccine, the threat of Nipah is always there, looming. The virus is a constant, sobering test of our global systems. Are we truly ready for what comes next?